Hearts of Iron 4. This is Paradox's most popular game right now, and it has become even more popular with the release of a new Hearts of Iron 4 expansion, No Step Back. We collaborated with Paradox not long ago, and made videos on the Hearts of Iron 4 expansion over at their channel. And certainly, the DLC has become really popular, with mainly positive reviews on Steam. This is, to a certain extent, in contrast to some of their other games like EU4's last major update, Leviathan, which wasn't taken well by many EU4 players. I went through this in one of my old videos, which you can check out after. So, therefore, is this new Hearts of Iron 4 expansion one of Paradox's best releases ever for DLCs? And given the fact it is known that some people aren't happy with the DLC policy, are we about to see a more positive view of a Paradox DLC policy in the future, if Paradox continues to meet expectations of people? Another similar example of a DLC receiving positive reception is the new EU4 expansion Origins, which on the whole has been met with a lot of praise for EU4 players who wish to play in Africa. However, you must consider it was a relatively small expansion, and things couldn't really have gone that badly with very low expectations set by players. Therefore, in today's video, we discuss the features No Step Back has brought to Hearts of Iron 4, and why has it been received so well by people, perhaps making it the best DLC Paradox have ever made. We are also trying to get to 75,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so why not subscribe and help us out, considering we do lots of Hearts of Iron 4 content. We begin by discussing the features the Hearts of Iron 4 No Step Back has brought to the game, which can be split into 5 categories. And we begin with tank designing. Given how popular ship designing was in Man the Guns, Paradox have now decided to add tank designing into the game. So you will now be able to design tanks to your liking, revolving around mobility, firepower, and protection. So, if you want to do a Blitzkrieg 2.0 with Germany, then this helps you to do it even more, since you can go for limited protection, but maximise your mobility. There are loads of factors to consider when designing a tank, from what type of engine you wish to use, to what type of accessories you wish to put on your tank. Flamethrowers could be a good option. I think from a new player perspective, this addition probably wouldn't be that interesting, and would maybe make the game more complicated. But for people who understand Hearts of Iron 4, I think it will certainly appeal to them. The No Step Back expansion has also completely changed the way in which supply works, and they've tried to make it historically accurate with World War II. With the new map of supply, you will be able to see which regions have very low supply. This is due to a number of factors, such as distance from capital and terrain. You therefore must be careful where you put your troops, and it would be an absolute disaster if you cannot supply them to a sufficient extent. Naval invasions are also getting a change, with the new floating harbours supplying your troops sufficiently from sea. If it is used correctly, you can have a much more successful naval invasion with troops, and they can last without taking an important enemy harbour. I'd imagine a lot of Hearts of Iron 4 players are happy with this new addition. The next thing I want to discuss is railway guns. This is probably one of the most hyped up features in the new expansion, and I can see why. I'm sure there'll be a lot of train watchers out there picking up this game, so they can have a look at these new mechanic beasts. There are a few different types of trains you can pick from, but the trains with guns might add extra help to your front line. You can only move onto track provinces, so therefore the trains can be destroyed by your enemy more easily than other units. But the trains have a big range of support when helping your front line. Also, different countries will have different looking trains, which I'm sure will really get the train watchers excited, and allow them to feel immersed in Hearts of Iron 4. I personally believe this is one of the best features added into Hearts of Iron 4, and glad they've put it in. One of the final things we are going to discuss is Officer Corps, which is a collection of new features giving you ultimate flexibility in shaping your army, navy, and air force. So how will it impact your game? Generals can now potentially be promoted, making it more realistic and allowing you to specifically shape the generals you have through your tactics. There are also new Officer Corps national spirits, and there are 3 for the Army and Navy, but only 2 for the Air Force. Choosing a specific spirit will give you an advantage depending on the tactics you use. For example, the National Spirit's overwhelming firepower may tip the balance when you're attacking an army, allowing you to break through enemy lines. I wouldn't say this is particularly the most interesting feature, but it's still great for a Hearts of Iron 4 player to have. Some of the final things I wish to discuss about the new Hearts of Iron 4 No Step Back expansion is firstly a minor addition of which they've added new weather and terrain mechanics, such as sandstorms. Therefore, picking the right moment to attack may be more vital in your Hearts of Iron 4 campaign. Given the fact the Russian winter was one of the factors as to why Germany failed in their campaign against the Soviet Union, it's no wonder why they've added this, and it gives Hearts of Iron 4 more flavour. The most interesting part of this expansion, in my opinion, is to do with the Soviet Union. They've completely updated the Soviet Union focus tree, adding over 300 focuses, which is the biggest they've ever done. They've also specifically targeted the alternative history of the Soviet Union, like the restoration of the monarchy and becoming fascist. Paradox have also added a new Soviet Union mechanic, which is political paranoia. It's common knowledge that Stalin was paranoid and he killed people in his government who he didn't trust, which was actually quite a lot. This massively reduced the competence of the Soviet Union. Therefore, I absolutely love this new mechanic, and think it adds a lot to the Soviet Union. They've also added to countries around the Soviet Union, such as Poland and the Baltic states. The update, I believe, focuses on an interesting part of World War II, and the Soviet Union getting an update adds a lot to the game. So why do I believe it's the best DLC Paradox have ever made, given all the features that have been added? I think Paradox got this completely right, and all these features really add an extra layer of complexity, and in my opinion, this DLC adds so much to the Eastern Front of World War II. For a lot of people, this specific part of World War II is very interesting, with a standoff between Stalin and Hitler, and a clashing of ideologies. Stalin even believed himself Hitler wouldn't invade, allowing the Germans to be initially successful in the Soviet Union campaign, due to the Soviet Union not preparing for Operation Barbarossa. Although there are a few bugs, which always happens when a new DLC comes out, and it will be quickly ironed out, this is an occasion where the hype for this product has been answered well by Paradox, and people are not disappointed with this DLC. It was also significantly highlighted in the videos we did with Paradox, that people were far more excited in the comments than I've seen for a long time for any Paradox DLC. I can also back this up numerically, with Hearts of Iron 4 getting an all-time peak of 68,000 active players, due to the DLC. For me personally, it was great this channel could be part of highlighting just how good this new Hearts of Iron 4 expansion would be. Although this expansion may make it harder for new players to get into it, Hearts of Iron 4 is known for being less replayable than other Paradox games, and probably needs more potential fun campaigns in order to retain its player base. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for watching, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.